The biggest question I get as an instructor around homework 1 due date time is the question of how to download the files and import it. I'm going to do 2 videos. This one is going to be about downloading and importing on a PC, and I'll do a second video doing it on a Mac. If you're paying attention, you can sort of see that I'm doing this inside the virtual machine on the Mac. So if you're using the virtual machine, you can watch this one too. But basically, what he asks you to do, let me scroll down here, is download a couple files. He wants you to create a new workbook, and he wants you to import the following items into the workbook: the usage CSV file and the availability CSV file. This can be done on a PC or on a Mac, and on the Mac it can be done without the virtual machine. So it's very easy to do. Let's look at this on the PC side first. You want to download the data files. I am in Edge, so when I right click, it is going to come up with an option to save link as. So I'm going to go to the desktop. I'm going to save it. You can see it's saved, and it's right there. I'm going to double click and open it, and I'm going to extract the files. This is the critical step. You don't skip this. Hit extract, and in my case, nothing happens. I think my machine, oh, there we go. Sorry. You hit extract all, and hit extract. Hey, it's nothing if there's not an error in the video. Close it up, and you can see I've got it here now. See, there are 2 files. They're both CSV files. Do not double click and open them. You need to import them from inside of Excel. So I am going to go ahead and open Excel. And on another screen, and I advise you to print the instructions out if you can, on another screen, I am going to have my instructions up. That's what you hear me doing right now, so that I can read off of them and understand what I need to do. Okay, so the first thing he wants you to do is open that up. He wants you to save it. There's a reason you want to save the moment you open it. I'm going to save it to my desktop so I know where it is. It's so you know what it's called. So here he says name it, your last name, your first name, underscore homework 1 underscore MPUP, and then we make sure it's saved as an XLS file, XLSX file. Excel workbook should do it. I'm going to save it. Now, the other nice thing is, you know what it's called. If your machine crashes in the middle of it, it should have autosave, and you shouldn't lose more than 10 minutes worth of work. So we have to do a couple of things, and this is really as critical as anything you're going to do. You want to rename the sheets to what they're going to be in the final project. You want to make sure you spell correctly. Availability, yep. And finally, analysis questions. And then the last step that I always joke about, because I have done this in class many times, is you want to make sure that you go back to the correct sheet. He wants us to import to the usage CSV file, or he wants us to import the usage CSV file to the usage sheet. So I make sure I'm on that. See, they all look alike. And he wants me to import in cell A3. So I'm going to go as slow as I can, but keep in mind you can pause, go back 30 seconds. But to import this, I go to Data, and I'm going to pick Get Data, and I'm going to do From File, and it is a text or CSV file. A CSV file, by definition, is just plain text. There's nothing in it but text and commas, and in the occasional carriage return. I'm going to go back to my desktop, and my data files are right there. I had unzipped them. I'm going to click on Usage. Gets a little complicated here, but having that in A3 helps. I need to do a couple things. Okay, notice first, it understands that I've got headers. That's cool. And I think all I need to do, since it's got the headers in there, is pick load to. I hit the down arrow, and I'm going to say to the existing worksheet. Otherwise, it's going to create a new worksheet. It's going to be confusing. And it's going to dump it all right in where it's supposed to be. And you know what? It pulls it in as a table, and that's great. So we don't have to do anything else. Let me repeat that with the availability. I'm going to close this window. And it's basically the same thing if you look at the instructions. Import A3, it's got headers. So a little bit less talk this time. Data, get data, from file, from text CSV. And I need to grab the availability file. I'm going to import it. I look to make sure it's got the headers when it comes in. Yep, it's got the headers highlighted, so I know I don't have to deal with anything. And I just picked load, load to, and I tell it because I clicked in that cell A3. You could type A3 in here, it would be perfectly fine. Hit OK. Same thing. Then you'd go on and do the rest of it. That's where I'm going to leave you. I hope this was helpful, and I'm going to put up a separate video about using Excel and the Mac if you choose to do it that way.